Welcome to Season 2, Episode 1 of This Week in Sports Betting. I'm your host, BB311, joined as always by my co-host, TJSaltdog. We've got special guest Tanner from Win the Day, from Cold Hard Football Facts, and what's that Discord one more time?
Tanner's Daily Picks and something. Links in the bio of all my socials.
Tanner's Daily
I want
Picks
to make sure.
Betting Talk.
Yeah, I want to make
All
sure
right.
Terry's in there.
And we've got Dolceto from the Wagers Lounge, Facebook, and Discord. Glad you guys are here. We're going to do a college football preview, but from what I understand, Terry has one baseball pick he does want to give out before we get started on football.
Yes, sir. Tonight, we got Kansas City Royals at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay Devil Rays. And
Football on his mind already.
I'm going to take the Royals here at plus 168, I believe. But the pitcher that's going for the Royals, his last 3 games, 0, 1, and 4 runs. So always take the recent games. We don't care what he did a month ago, 2 months ago, okay? And then McClanahan for Tampa Bay, the last 3 games, 2, 4, and 5. That's how many runs he's given up. So if you want value, you take the plus 168 Kansas City Royals. That's what I like.
Dolceto, do you have a soccer pick today? Did you?
I mean, I'm putting the season, but like we talked earlier, I'm going to roll with it. It's for tomorrow in the city. Money line, minus 112 on BetMGM. I could find. Earlier in the season, it's only start tomorrow. Pretty bad last week against one of the top teams in England right now. Liverpool, I know that. I know Man City. I think Arsenal are a top team. I think at home against Fofana is going to see, so this might be his last game. So be leaving possibly to a more superior team. So I had minus 112. It was on 5 hours ago.
So Manchester City, right?
Manchester City.
Leicester City. Okay. All right, let's dive into some college football. I wanted to mention that last year there was a prop on MGM for the Michigan Wolverines to make the college football playoff, and it was 25 times your money. Somebody laid a serious amount of coin on it. Anyway, they won $500,000. I think they put 20 grand or 40 grand on it. Some crazy amount of money. I didn't put anywhere near that on, but I did shadow the bet to some degree on a smaller level and made out like a bandit. So last year I had a lot less hope for this team than I do this year. However, with the Points Bet Power Hour, 1 to 2 p.m. daily, they're giving away $5 free bets. They gave away one the other day. I took Michigan. I gave it a shot. It's 40 times your money for them to win it all. Do I think it's going to happen? No, but it's a $5 free bet to win $200. I took a shot on it. That's the only real future that I have as far as a champion is concerned. Does anybody else have any kind of, championship futures in college football?
I don't do future bets.
No future bets for you, Terry?
I never have. I might start it, but I never have done a future
bets.
Like you said, $5. It's only $5.
It wasn't even. It was a free bet. So.
I might start doing it,
Definitely. So the only thing I took is the Alabama, Georgia, or the Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, or the field on FanDuel. So it was it was minus 120 on each side pretty much. I think Alabama, Georgia, or Ohio State does win the national championship, most likely Alabama. So I just took that, sprinkled a little bit of money on it, nice little boost in my account, hopefully at the end of the season when I lose everything on blackjack that I made. And that happened to me today.
You gotta stop doing that, man.
I do it every day. It's bad.
Ohio State running back tore his ACL the other day. Was that their starter?
Didn't
I
see
didn't
it.
hear about
They
it,
got
so I don't know.
Yeah, they're
He's
yeah,
worried
running back for Ohio State tore his ACL. He's done for the season.
They still got CJ Stroud, and you know they got a good team. I hate their guts, but they are a talented football team. So
Yeah, I think Bama or Georgia. I mean, who cares about the running backs? Fine, Bama's going to win the whole thing anyway.
I don't think Georgia's going to repeat. I don't know that I see that happening. It's more likely that Alabama probably takes it away.
Mm-hmm.
What I was disappointed about mostly last year is that we got to the playoff and we got our ass kicked by Georgia. It was almost like we weren't even competing. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think that this year Michigan's going to win 11 games again, but I don't think they're going to make the playoff because I think they're going to lose to Ohio State. Although I think we're going to beat Michigan State this time, much to the chagrin of Dolceto over there. Yeah, we're going to need it. So I did take a win total, though. I took them over 9.5 at -113. 5 units on that play. I took another win total on a completely different team. My buddy is a Florida Gator fan. He went to Florida. We went through the schedule, me and him talking shop, and I took over 7.5 with Florida for +120. There's value in the play. They have a new coach, so it's a bit of a wild card, but I think that they're going to start off hot, and I think they're going to win that first game in which they're dogs against Utah. So that'll get it kicked off. If they can do what we think they can do, or at least what I think they can do, then they can get over 7.5 wins. Those are my win totals. Anybody else have any win totals for the teams?
I got a couple. Yeah, I do. To win it all, you know, I know Clemson 100. They have, I'll call him ukulele, whatever. I don't know how you the quarterback. He's returning Clemson all around. So I mean, it's 100. Team hard is, you know, like Alabama, you got Ohio State, super house, you know, also win total. So Georgia Tech. So this is gonna be an ugly one. Wins, it's a minus bet, the best odds you could find. Schedule, Georgia Tech has been horrible, like top in the top 120 games the last few years. Their easiest games are against Virginia. You know, I looked at the schedule. They got to play at UNC, at UCF, Ole Miss, Clemson, winning more than the whole year. So under there, and I Nebraska. I hate Nebraska. Nebraska, Big Ten currently hit them over 7.5 wins. They got the transfer quarterback Caleb Williams or Casey Thompson. Sorry, of Texas. They have a pretty the year. They have a brutal schedule. 4 games of the year. They have to play home on Michigan, Wisconsin. Tough games, but I have wins. Last year, 3-9, but they also set a record for going on with less than one score. I'm really high on the Nebraska team. I don't win the Big Ten West is a joke, anyways. It's not a big conference there. And Miami, over 8.5 wins. It's bad. It's -1.
I think you got a lot of good stuff, man, but you're breaking up really bad. And I'm hearing like maybe 3/4 of what you're saying at best. And I don't know if you want to try something else, reconnect with a different device or not, but maybe it's your internet today. I don't know. Sounds like you got a lot of good stuff there, but we're not getting it. So we're going to move on. If you want to go out, come back in, or if you want to try a different device, PC, laptop, phone, I got to move over. All right. I guess I could just move this. Okay. So no more futures, right? Everybody, we're moving on to week 0. I've only got one play for week 0. The line actually moved a bit on me. I had Wyoming plus 10.5 against Illinois. It's now 10. I don't love it at 10. I loved it at 10.5. I would probably still bless the pick, and I would still take it at 10. I don't think Illinois is as good as they're getting credit for in a lot of these lines and a lot of these games. Why they're favored half the time, I'm just not sure. Wyoming Cowboys aren't a great football team, but I think that they can keep this game close. So that's my week 0 pick. The rest of my picks are all in week 1. So if anybody's got anything else for week 0.
So you took Wyoming plus 10?
I took it at plus 10.5, but I got it last week.
Well, plus 10 is good too because Illinois got 56% of their offense returning. Wyoming's only got 39, and on defense, Illinois got 57% returning. Wyoming's got 48%. They should be able to cover that 10.
Illinois got a new coach too, so
Yeah.
Lovie Smith is with Houston Texans now.
Yeah. But they should cover 10.
I would agree. Dolceto, let's see if we can hear you now.
Is that better? I'm really not sure.
Sorry, man. I don't know why. We'll have to try it again a different time. It might be your internet today. It might be the device that you're on. I'm not sure.
You might pick some via.
I don't know. I don't know what you said.
No.
I don't know. Thanks for coming. Thanks for trying. We'll have to try something different next time with you if we can. Okay.
Yeah.
Have a good one. All right, week 0. You guys got anything?
We got 11 games.
I got
Some of them. The lines aren't out, right? So
4 of them. You can't even. The lines aren't out.
I got Nebraska Northwestern, so I'm going to take. I'm taking Northwestern at plus 12.5. I think that is tremendous value. If you were not hammering Northwestern at plus 12.5, I don't know what you're, or Nebraska at plus 12.5. I don't know what you're doing. You got Casey Thompson. You got a whole bunch of transfers coming in there. You got Mark Whipple coaching now, playing for the OC, calling the plays, made Kenny Pickett great. I think, Northwestern's going to be able to run the football, but when it comes down to, I think the passing game from Nebraska, people aren't going to be ready for. And I think 12.5 is just way too many points. This game's in Ireland, but all the players are going to be off their time zones. You can't give me 12.5 points with this Nebraska offense now. I'm taking that all day.
Oh yeah, I mean Nebraska's got 79% of their offense returning.
Yeah.
Northwestern's got 68%, and on defense, Nebraska's 68, Northwestern's 64. So it's dang near a pick 'em.
Yeah, and
12 and a half all day long.
With no home field advantage or anything.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, come on, it's like a scrimmage game in Ireland.
Yep. And then here's another game, guys. We were just talking about New Mexico State, where Brian said they're trash. Okay. Now listen, Nevada's got 35% of their offense, 40% of their defense returning. New Mexico State's got 39% of their offense, 72% of their defense. Plus 8.5 New Mexico State. I'm taking it.
that's brave. That's
Yeah.
brave.
You got 72% of your defense coming back. 8.5 is a lot of points.
It's a team at the bottom of the FBS. I mean, I do have New Mexico State in a different game the following week with a lot more points. I mean, I'll just give it out now. I got New Mexico State plus 37.5 points against the Minnesota Golden Gophers. 37.5 points is a lot. I don't care who you're playing. It could be the Lions against the Wolverines. I'm not even sure who'd be favored in that game. Anyway, it could be college versus big league, and I would still take 37.5 points. That's pretty much the scenario. It's a number that I'm betting there.
Well, the next game, Tanner, go ahead, bud. Connecticut and Utah State.
Connecticut and Utah State. Now, partially is because I guess I'm an alumni. UConn always gets 28 point spreads week 1. They can't seem to cover them lately. Coach Moore is coming in there. We got a little excitement around the program. They're bringing guys back. It seems like there's a different vibe around UConn football. Again, 27.5 is a lot to cover at plus money. You have no clue what this UConn football team is going to look like. Moore went out and recruited a bunch of guys that are fifth-year guys from other places. So everyone's new here. but you're also returning some key pieces. I think they're going to be just fine with him. I think 27. You got to give him a chance at 27.5 for a new coaching staff with a new recruiting system and, a guy that's been successful in the NFL and college.
Yeah, yep. Connecticut's got 54% of their offense back, 64% of their defense. And Utah's got 61 offense, 55 defense. That's 27.5. I bet you it dropped down to 24, and I'd still take it.
Yeah. I mean, I think it'll be I would take it at 20, 22, 20. I'd take it like 22.5. I'd take it at 21, honestly. 20.5, you're starting to get to a game I might want to stay away from just because you just don't know what you're going to get from UConn. But everything around the program makes it seem like they're going to be in good shape.
TJSaltdog's coming with the numbers today. Canner's repping his UConn hoodie. You want to show the people? I got my Michigan garb on. I know Terry's a Purdue guy. I don't think he's wearing the shirt. Dolceto's a Michigan State guy. Unfortunately, we couldn't get him a good enough signal to keep him on. Terry, what else you got?
So then I have Vanderbilt at 6.5 over Hawaii. Terry, are we on the same level? Are we picking every game the same?
Yeah, because Vanderbilt's got 79% of their offense compared to Hawaii's 35, and on defense, Vanderbilt 76% returning to 40% returning for Hawaii. Vanderbilt's going to kill these boys.
Oh yeah, 6.5. I mean, if it goes, it'll probably go up to 7.5 as we get closer.
Yeah.
7.5. I think 6.5 is a very fair price. I think they win this game by at least 10. It's before school starts, so they can go out to Hawaii for a week and get adjusted to the temperature and the climate and all that. I mean, and Terry, you talk about the people coming back too. I mean, they play in the SEC. Yep. That's the difference. They played at Alabama before. They played against that kind of talent. So Hawaii's not going to be any match.
Hawaii is a cream puff game for a Big Ten school, much less an SEC school.
Yeah, and Vanderbilt's competitive.
Yeah.
So
well, we got two more games, and one of them is North Texas at UTEP.
I like UTEP at home in this game.
It's 1.5. North Texas got 87% of their offense back, 70% of their defense. UTEP's got 56% offense, 59%. I like North Texas there, Tanner.
I just think there's a lot of excitement around. There's a lot of excitement around UTEP football right now. A ton of excitement around UTEP football. It's going to be tight. I think home for a half a point. I'll take the home team when it comes down to that. Probably playing the under is the best move at 55.5. Again, I have not locked that one in yet. I've already locked in the Nebraska Northwestern bet. I locked the UConn bet in at 28. I actually got it at before it shifted down to 27.5, and then Vanderbilt 6.5. So, I mean, if anything, that's the last game I'm looking at. North Texas, UTEP. Terra, I think you're crazy at New Mexico State 8.5. I think Nevada covers that, but I won't play it because they're on the road week 1.
I like the value. Come on.
Only plus money plays, huh?
Yeah. And then that last one we got Charlotte at Florida Atlantic. Charlotte, it's plus 7.5 for Charlotte. They got 76% of their offense returning. Florida Atlantic's got 87%. Defense is 70 for Charlotte 55, Florida 55. So I figured Florida Atlanta with 87% of their offense coming back, that's pretty good at 7.5. So you're going to lay it or you're going to take the points? Which one would you do? Because the other one's 76% of their offense.
I mean, I'd probably lay the points there, even at 7.5. I think Florida Atlantic's a better team than Charlotte when it comes down to it. What would you do? Brian, what are you doing? What would you do there?
I'd probably take the points.
Yeah.
Take the points? Okay.
Take the points.
I mean, I wouldn't fault you if you did. I mean, they got 76% of their offense coming back.
The hook makes it appealing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The half point is all the difference in the world.
Brian's coming in with like one bet. He's got one bet. He's like very responsible. One bet. We're like,
oh no, I've only got one bet for week 0. We haven't got to week 1 yet. So
6.5 or 7, you wouldn't take the points, would you, Brian?
No, you got to give me the hook.
You want the 7 covered?
You got to give me 7.5. Either way, I'm laying off of that game. But It's a what would you do situation. We through week 0 now. I can get moving on to week 1. I already gave one out. I gave you New Mexico State plus 37.5 against Minnesota. It's too many points. That's my opinion. I don't think Minnesota is any kind of be all end all, despite how bad New Mexico State is. Terry, I'm sure he loves to play. He likes them at plus 8 or 8.5 against Nevada. So I'm sure he loves them plus 37.5 against Minnesota.
Oh yeah. I like any team at 37.5. I don't care if you're playing Alabama. It's hard to cover 37.5 points.
Yeah.
Right, Tanner?
Yeah, definitely. It's hard to cover big spread. I mean, if it was 37.5, I'd always look into, but if it's Alabama, that's the one team that I would question betting. But again, it's not even worth betting at 37.5 because if they win by 35, it's like, that's a great win, but I wouldn't even, I can't worry about 28. I'll only take dogs if I'm betting that big of a spread.
Exactly. And it's not Alabama, it's Minnesota. They're not even close.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. The next one is going to be Indiana versus Illinois. You can still get this at 5 but I guess if you want to take it at 4.5, I would completely understand. I took it early. I took Indiana -5 here. With a new coach, I don't think Illinois is going to be as good as people are giving them credit for, or as good as the lines are in their first couple of games, kind of in their favor. So I'm going to take Indiana to beat them by more than 5 points. Now the line is moving around a little bit. You can get it now at 4.5, which is a safer bet. If you want to take that, I completely understand. I already locked it in at 5. The Hoosiers fight hard against everybody they play, no matter how good they are. They fight till the end. They play 4 quarters of football. I've seen it over and over again against anybody and everybody. They give Michigan a run for their money. So I'll take Indiana. Indiana -5 against Illinois. Week 1.
84% of the tickets are on Illinois right now on the sharp books.
I disagree.
Yeah.
I don't know where all this love's coming from for Illinois. What have they ever done? I think last year they won a big game. One big game. They started to show some improvement. Lovie Smith's gone, and he was a big part of that, in my opinion. So,
okay, yeah. Well,
I couldn't tell you the new coach's name, but it's a new system, and it's going to take time for him to adjust and learn it.
But that's on a sharp book. So, 84% of the tickets. That means the public's on Illinois. Mm-hmm. I like fading the public big time in football.
It's a big public.
I would take I'd take Illinois plus 4.5 in that game. I think Indiana wins, but I think it's by a field goal last second. I think Illinois covers. The home crowd on the opener on September 2nd. You're gonna have students back on campus. Place gonna be rocking. So I think the Indiana does pull off a little bit of a not upset, but I think they don't cover. They just win.
Okay. Well, how about my team here? We got Penn State at Purdue opening day.
Penn State wins by 4, Terry.
Huh?
Penn State wins by 4.
Oh my!
He's mad now.
I'm taking Purdue's money line, Bubba.
Okay. Why?
I'm with Brian. Penn State, I do not think it's going to be that good of a football team this year.
I mean, I think Penn State is going to be able to run all over them. I think passing wise, I think Purdue's going to be strong in the secondary, but I think the offensive line and run game for Penn State, they're going to be able to control clock and get the win.
That's good. Yeah, it could happen that way. Yeah. I'm just at Purdue opening day.
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah. And it's only 3.5 points. It's 3.5 right now, isn't it?
Yeah, 3.5.
Yeah. Now, if it was either, it can't go down. It better not go down. Yeah. Look at Brian laugh.
I'm gonna thank Jeff Morton for joining us and commenting. Jeff, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to ignore you. We're just kind of rolling through these games. You're right. Illinois will be playing their second game in week 1. Indiana will only be playing their first game. Illinois will be home. Seems like these guys kind of disagree with me on that play, but I like Indiana to cover 4.5, or I took it at 5. Purdue and Penn State's a tough one, but I'd have to lean Penn State on that. I understand taking the value play, taking the plus money, and taking your home team. So I completely understand. I'll give you a slappy play. I'll give you a homer pick. I'll give you one that you probably shouldn't take, and you're going to tell me it's too many points, but I laid it. 27.5, minus 27.5. I took Michigan over Colorado State. They may not cover this number. I'm just going to tell you right now. It may not happen. I think they can. It's a matter of whether or not they want to. I think that's really what it is. Do they want to keep running up the score? How explosive is their running game this year? it's going to be a question.
Wow.
Who the hell is Colorado State anyway?
Yeah. No lean on that one. I'd say no lean on that. I mean, Michigan's got high expectations. They got great, good run game, great tight ends coming back. I think they'll be just fine, but I wouldn't take a favorite at that many points.
27.5 points.
Yeah, I couldn't lay 27.5.
Yeah. Wow. That's Ball State plus 32 at Tennessee. 32 is hard to cover.
That's a tough
It
number.
is. One of those cupcake teams win every year. So
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
25 for.
We even know who's the starting quarterback in Tennessee this year. I don't even know. I know they had a guy that was in Michigan that moved on last year, but I don't know who they got now.
No game I am looking forward to. I know it's week 2, but I'll just give a quick one. Alabama to go in and absolutely roll Texas at home, with people thinking that Texas is going to be good this year. That Texas football is back. What do you guys? Quinn Ewers was named starting quarterback at Texas today. So
every year at the beginning of the season, everybody says Texas is back.
Yeah.
And by week 5, they're not back anymore.
No. Who do they play? They have a cupcake game week 1.
Who, Texas?
Yeah.
Alabama, Texas. What did you say the point was?
It's 14. Or it was 14 at least.
I see 17.5.
Moving up.
We're getting way ahead. We're already in. There's so many games. It's amazing looking at this like college football. Like it's
overwhelming.
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
I'm scrolling right now. Just trying
right
to find the first one.
Right before that game, you got Notre Dame at Ohio State. That's
I'm on that. My son told me I was crazy, and the number's moving. I did take Notre Dame plus 14.5 points, and now you can get it all the way up to 16.5 if you go to Bet Rivers. Most places have moved it to 15.5. Look, I don't think I'm not smoking some crazy drugs here. I don't think that Notre Dame's going to beat Ohio State, but I do think they can keep it respectable. So that's all I'm saying. Any take?
At 15, I'd take Notre Dame. At 13.5, I'd take Ohio State. That's
I
kind
took
of
it at 14.5, and I took Notre Dame.
Okay, so I'd still take Notre Dame at 14. I mean, Notre Dame's going to be okay. I think. I don't know if they'll be as good as Ohio State, but like Terry said, the running back getting hurt, that definitely is going to cause some issues for him a little bit. So yeah, I mean, why not?
Yeah.
How about Oregon versus Georgia? Oregon's getting 17.5 points, and again, I took the points and I took the dog. Oregon plus 17.5. I know Georgia's the defending champion and all that stuff, but they're not the same team they were last year. They're going to be good. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure they're going to win this game again. I just think that Oregon can keep it respectable. So give me 17.5 points with probably the best team in the Pac-12, at least the second best team in the Pac-12. I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
100%. Oregon 17.5 there. No question.
I've only got one more, and I think it's my best play. And we'll see who agrees with it. I'm taking the Florida Gators. This is what I alluded to earlier, that I think they can win over 7.5 games. They're playing the Utah Utes. They're underdogs slightly. They're plus 120 money line over at Caesars. I grabbed it. I jumped on it. I think they start the season off with a win, even with the new coach. And we'll see what happens. Anybody take a side on that? Point wise, I think it's only a 2.5 point spread for Utah right now. Let me look at it.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of
at home. Florida 2.5. I take.
Yeah.
Florida's at home. Yeah.
At home.
I'm taking money line there. 2.5 isn't good.
Money line,
good.
Exactly.
No, plus 120. Florida Gators at home. Home dog. Utah. I mean.
Yeah.
2.5 isn't going to do you any good at home. I mean, the Swamp's going to be rocking. I'd take Florida.
Gators. Jeff says game 1 for the new coach at Notre Dame. I wasn't aware of that, but okay, we'll learn a lot versus the Suckeyes. Yes, we will. And me and Jeff agree. We don't like Ohio State. So,
but he's been there too. The Marcus Freeman.
Okay,
he's the defensive coordinator. Yeah,
okay, he just moved up.
It was
Brian Kelly.
LSU. I don't think LSU. I just don't see him fitting in at LSU at all.
Jeff, I don't know if I ever asked you this or if I remember. Are you a Michigan fan or are you a State fan? If you want to comment, let me know. What else we got? Terry, you're rolling through these games. There's a ton of them if you want to touch on a couple more.
Nah, I mean,
Pretty much everybody out of place here.
Like I said, I like the games that have huge point spreads. I'm talking 27 and higher. Actually, you guys ever heard MG covers? I know you have, Brian.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, he's on there. I don't know how much
He's
I
a
watch.
professional handicapper, and he likes the dog 17 and higher. And he'll bet on every one of them.
Depending on who it is.
Yeah, he's a pretty good handicapper. That's where I got the idea from. So like you got Bowling Green and UCLA, 24 and a half UCLA. I'm taking plus 24 and a half. I mean,
Bowling Green though. I don't know, man. I mean,
there's a lot of
UTEP. Okay, which one of you guys said UTEP's going to be a good?
I said that'll be a good game. Yeah.
They're playing number 9 Oklahoma, 31 points. I know Tanner would probably jump on UTEP right there.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta see how they play week 1. Probably wouldn't lock that in. I think this is another good one here. Rice at USC, week 1, 34.5 points. USC scoring, obviously the Lincoln Riley hype, but we don't know what we're gonna get out of that team. It's Lincoln Riley's first game there. I think Rice at 34.5 points is pretty fair. It opened at 35.5. So, I mean, I don't hate that at all.
No. Wow.
Yeah, that's too unpredictable for me. Like, I just don't know what we're going to see with USC.
Yeah,
I like to. Some of these teams, I want to wait and see what they do the first week or two before I even think about where I want to go on them. Jeff's got a comment for you. True, Tanner, but players will go big, go blue. Here we go. He's on the same side I am, but my mom was U of M and my dad was MSG, so I pulled for both. Big blue when they're head-to-head. Okay, and they will be. And we talked about that game a little bit earlier with Dolceto on, and obviously he said good luck. I think they can beat them. It's pretty simple for me with Michigan this year. I think they're going to beat everybody but Ohio State. I think it's really important that we beat Michigan State this time. The record against Michigan State for Harbaugh is very bad. And I'm not going to say it's more important to beat Michigan State than we beat Ohio State, but realistically, it's more likely that it's going to happen that way. So we'll see what happens. If we can beat them all and we win that last game and it's a surprise, great. We're back in the playoff. And I just hope that the Big Ten can become more competitive with the SEC over time. What do you guys think about what's happening right now with the Big Ten and the SEC and all the teams moving around? And it's almost looking like it's going to become a 2-conference deal, basically, for the most part. I mean, the rest of the conferences are going to be lower.
Did you see that TV deal the other day? It was like CBS, Fox, and NBC are showing all the college games now. There's like the 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock in the night game now. It's crazy.
ESPN owns the SEC basically, right? They got the TV rights to them, and then Big Ten's now going after the big money with everything else. So.
It's like a $10 billion deal, I think.
Yeah, each school gets $100 million. Yeah. That's a lot of money. Man.
You know what? This is what's happened. Like the NCAA, I agree the players should have got paid, and I think there's some. I mean, they're making a lot of money for the school. They deserve to get paid, right? But I think the NCAA, between like how they handled NIL and then how they're doing this now, it's like they kind of lost all total control. It's all about the money now, totally. And it always was. Don't get me wrong, but at least they're letting the players profit. But now, since the players are profiting, they're like, screw it, let's just make as much money as we can.
Yep. Sale to the highest bidder for the TV deal. That's right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
See, those schools, they split it up against. Come on, lacrosse don't make me nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, but they get some of that money because the school gets that money from the TV rights. So.
You can watch all the lacrosse games on Peacock. I learned that last summer. I was managing a shop, and a kid that worked for me he goes to Northern Michigan. He's a big lacrosse fan. He told me who to bet on a lacrosse game. I didn't know anything, and I made a couple bucks doing that. So I have Peacock, so I watched some of that stuff. For the fun of it, for the money. Just there's not a lot in the summer, right? Besides baseball, so you almost got to find something else if you want to be an avid sports bettor. I took a couple months hiatus, as most everybody knows, but.
For baseball though, Tanner, are you going to Baltimore tomorrow? Right?
Yeah, I'm going with the game tomorrow, but it depends what happens tonight. So I mean, Michael Walker's going to pitch tomorrow, so he's the Red Sox best chance of winning a baseball game tomorrow. Tonight, I would take Baltimore. I had the total at 9. It dropped to 8.5, so we got it at the right time. I got the under. So we'll see what happens. I put together like a safe parlay again that I nuked. I got Lyles over 3, Lyles 3+ strikeouts, Walker 3+, each team to score over 1.5 runs. It was like plus, it was even money. So I just nuked that too. So we'll see what happens here.
Okay. Are you taking your camera? Are you going to do some interviews?
Yeah, I'll be doing interviews pretty much the if I can get the microphone in the game, great. If not, we'll do it outside and then go in. But
what do they do? They kick you out of there for that or what?
I've gotten booted from places all because you're just going up sticking a mic in people's faces.
You're not a legitimate
oh no, I'm not. I don't have a media pass. I just
Fox
mic in.
Or NBC. Or
I'm interviewing like people.
I don't think they should be able to tell you, hey, you need to leave.
Yeah, well, I guess it is what it is, but it makes it more fun that way. I just go up to like the drunkest people I can find and ask them betting questions and stuff. It's good.
Some of them people got some ridiculous answers.
They do.
I love it though.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff, Michigan's great. Michigan Panthers were a big disappointment as they started the season as the favorite to win it all and won, I think, 1 game, maybe 2. I just looked at the win total for UConn, and it's 2.5.
They got a really hard schedule.
Crazy.
They have an extremely. If you go through their schedule,
yeah, I'm looking at it right now. So I see they got Utah State's to start out. It's Central Connecticut State.
They'll beat Central. Central's good though.
Are they? Okay, I wouldn't know.
For 1AA, for 1AA football, they're very, very good.
Okay, Syracuse. Terry said they're pretty good earlier. So
yeah, they got more returning starters on offense than any team in football.
I mean,
you guys have Michigan. You playing us? Oh wow!
Yeah, at the big house. That the last time. Well, no. How'd we? Those UConn Michigan games used to be really good. I remember when we knocked off Notre Dame at Notre Dame. That was like UConn football when it was cooking. No longer that. But so like realistically on their schedule, they're not going to beat Fresno State. And so I don't see them win. They got to beat Central to hit 2.5. You got to beat Central. You're not going to beat Fresno State. You could beat FIU and Ball State possibly. There's your 3. You're not going to beat BC, UMass. You could beat. So you got 4 games now that you could win. Army, you could possibly beat. Army's pretty good though. Army's really good. Then you got 5. Yeah. I mean, Liberty, you're not going to beat. I don't think. I mean, 2.5 is going to be tight.
Wow,
it's crazy.
Oh, okay, he's talking about the Michigan Panthers back in the day in the USFL in the 80s because he's got some years on me. Okay, got it. I understand. Terry, Purdue's listed at 7.5. 7.5.
It'll take 6 to go to the bowl. So I care about. It'll take 6 to go to the bowl.
Well, they got Penn State. You take them to win that game. Okay. Indiana State, you'll win that game, right? You're worried about Syracuse, so we'll say no. What about Florida Atlantic? They should win that, right?
Dude, they're not a bad team, dude. They're not. Is that at Purdue?
Yep.
Yeah, if it's at Purdue, then I'd give Purdue a little nod.
Okay, then we got 3, right? Minnesota, win or loss.
Oh, dude, that's Minnesota always plays Purdue tough.
It's at Minnesota.
That's a loss.
Okay, Maryland. In Maryland.
Maryland sucks.
Little brother still there?
I don't know.
He's got to be, I think.
I think he is.
Yeah, he's got it. He was young. I think he was only a sophomore last year.
All right, Terry, at Maryland and Maryland, what do you got?
Purdue.
Okay, that's 4. Nebraska at Purdue.
Oh, dude. Nebraska.
Purdue at Wisconsin.
That's a stupid question, Ryan. Wisconsin.
Iowa at Purdue.
They're at Purdue again this year?
Yep.
Well, we beat them last year. I was ranked in the top. As a matter of fact, I was ranked number 1 in the nation when Purdue beat them last year at Purdue. Remember that?
So what are you saying?
Purdue's going to beat them again.
5. Purdue at Illinois.
Purdue.
6. Northwestern at Purdue.
Northwestern's got our number. Always has.
And then Indiana. And then at Indiana to end.
God.
It's
Purdue.
under.
dude. That's gonna be a good game,
It's
dude.
still 7. It's still 7. So
That's
I
gonna
guess
be a
he's
good
saying
game.
take the under, right? Tanner,
Yeah.
if you had to lean the 2.5 over under for UConn, which way would you go?
I think you got to go over, right? It's
Over,
2.5.
yeah.
You got to take the over. New coaching staff. I think they're going to be fine. It's going to be tight. You're going to sweat that out, though.
Mm-hmm. I think 9.5 for Michigan. I know that it's a lot of games, but I took, obviously I put my money on. I believe it's going to happen. There's only really 2 games that we're possibly going to lose to, and it's the same 2 games every year. It's the rivalry games. It's the Sparty and the Suck guys. So
Yeah. Now this is Barry. Nobody gets hurt.
Yeah,
Because
people get hurt. That's
if
when it
somebody
goes
gets hurt, it's over.
it depends. It depends on who it is. It depends on.
Well, you know who I mean. I mean, like Michigan's quarterback's not bad. He's a pretty good quarterback.
I like Cade. I like Cade McNamara, and I think he's our better choice. He's our safer choice. My kid likes JJ, and a lot of people like JJ, and they want JJ to start, and I think that's a mistake. JJ came in the Michigan State game and single-handedly lost it for us by fumbling the ball twice while he tried to run. Because every time he comes off the bench, and he goes, they know exactly what the fuck he's going to run the ball. That's all he ever does.
Yeah.
Other than a couple of errant, long passes he pulled out once in a great while. That's what he does. When they played it last year. They know when JJ comes out, he's going to hand it off and run himself 9 times out of 10. Cade may not throw 70-yard passes, but how many people in college do? He's a safer quarterback. He's going to throw 15-yard passes down the field at a pace we can control the game, control the ball. So I like it. But everybody's got their opinion on that, and especially up around here. Sounds like me, McNamara, and I like it, and I agree. So I think when we covered all, we never got all the plays out. We went over week 0, week 1. We got some futures in there, some win totals. Bowen, BC Wins was supposed to join us. Family emergency. He couldn't make it. Hopefully, he can make it next week. We're going to NFL preview Friday, August 26th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Mac Wallace is confirmed for that show. Me and he'll obviously be here. Tanner, if you can make it, we'll look on. We tried to get the coach, but he just had a kid, just had a baby literally last week. So that was tough. That wasn't happening tonight. But I tried as I might, didn't work out. And I tried a few others, but we ended up with just the 4 of us. Dolceto, unfortunately, he's going to try to find something else. But next week, 6 o'clock, NFL preview. Tanner, you think you can make it? You want to get back to later?
Probably get back to you later, but maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
It's NFL, Tanner.
I know. I got to get on that. I got to get on. I got to see what I might have a plan Friday night. I don't know yet exactly.
Hey, you're supposed to be having.
Yeah.
Aren't you supposed to be having a big NFL show yourself?
Yep. So I do a daily one every day, but we'll have like a pregame show on Sunday. So we're we're planning in the process of planning that out right now. So should be good.
I want on it.
There you go, Terry. I'll get you guys both on that. That'd be fun.
Cool.
Yep.
You guys see the comments?
Comments are, I'm sure we bounce back tonight. Good to see you. We already lost one today, so I hope.
Go Cubbies!
Oh God, no.
Sorry, Tanner.
Yeah.
They already hurt me today. All right, I guess thanks for joining the college football preview this week in sports bet. Season 2 episode 1. Go back next. Season 2 episode 2, the NFL preview. BB311, TJSaltdog, Mac Wallace, and more to be announced later. Good night.
All right.
Yep.
I'll keep in touch with you, Tan.
Yep, definitely.